Hi everybody, I'm back in my backyard and I am so excited about the activity I have to share with you today. It's a movement activity and I'm using a small selection from a great big piece of music that is one of my most favorite in the world. Exactly, the world. So, today I'd like to start by talking to you a little bit about a German composer, somebody who writes music, a German composer whose name is Carl Orff. Well, Carl Orff was born a long time ago, back in 1895. He's no longer alive. He died back in 1982. But when he was alive, he didn't write like tons and tons of music like Beethoven did, or like Mozart did, or like Vivaldi did. But the ones that he did write were pretty well known and pretty popular. And that brings us to his most famous piece of music called Carmina Burana. And Carmina Burana, that's my most favorite one. So you might want to ask Alexa to play you some Carmina Burana, and I'm sure Alexa knows the tiny part of it that we're going to use today. So he wrote this piece called Carmina Burana, and it was pretty important, and there's some history there, but I won't go into that because I don't want to bore you. Anyways, he also was really well known for teaching music to children, and he actually developed a whole way of teaching music to children, and guess what? That's the way that I use with you guys most of the time. So it's a very movement-based way to teach music to kids. Lots of singing, small little note sets like mi, re, do, all the stuff we do in music class. So he was pretty important to me. And he's even important to you. You just don't even know it. Well, here's a fun fact about Carl Orff. Are you ready for this one? When he was alive, he got married 4 different times. Some of his wives passed away, and once or twice he got divorced or whatever, but I think it's a very interesting fact that he was married 4 different times. Here's another fun fact. The 4th wife, I actually got to meet once when I was in graduate school at the College Conservatory of Music up at the University of Cincinnati. So that was a pretty neat thing for me. His last wife died back in 2015, maybe about 5 years ago. Well, Carl Orff, I'm not going to share any more information about that, but we are going to use a selection from Carmina Burana called Ecce Gratum. And you can always look in my title of this video if you want Alexa to play that music for you. Hey, let's look at some of the signs I have hanging up behind me. Let's look at these. That one goes back, forth, back, forth. I see a whole bunch of dots. They almost look like ties. They almost look like quarter notes. And they are. You know how sometimes I use those shortcuts and I don't put the sticks on the quarter notes? I did it again, just to save me time. Ooh, now I see lots and lots of squiggles and squiggles and squiggles. Ooh, I see lots of confetti and sprinkles, almost like popcorn. Bump, 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 like lightning even. A big arrow up, and then an excited mark, an exclamation point. Well, tell you what, we're going to do some different movements for each one of these papers, and I'm hopeful that these papers will kind of show you what kind of movements to do. Let's look at the first one. This is the one with the sway lines. That kind of makes me want to move my body. Just like the lines. Will you do that with me? Here we go. Ready? Stand on up. Stand up. Stand up. Come on. It's me. You got to be moving. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Nice work. Let's look at all of those ties. Let's look at all of those little dots. Let's march. Trust me, there are 16 of them. Can you march 16 times with me? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. There are only 16 in the first part of it. Then there's 16 more. So let's march 16 more times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Good work. Let's go on to the next sign. Here's all of the twisty and turbies and twisty and turbies. Can you do some twisty and turbies around your living room or your basement or your bedroom or your backyard? Will you do those with me? Good for you. I like those. Those are fun. Then we have all of our confetti or our sprinkles or our popcorn. What do you think we should do for that? Sprinkles, confetti, popcorn? Let's jump. Nice work. Then we got the lightning part. Kind of reminds me of karate chopping. Can you do some karate chopping with me? Nice job. That one's a lot of fun. Well, after the karate chop part, we have a great big arrow, and then we have an exclamation point. How about for that great big arrow, crouch down for me and sprout up, and then strike a pose and just hold it. Let's try it all together. So what I'll do is we'll start from the beginning with the swaying back and forth. Then we'll march our 32 steps. And then we'll do our twisty turbies. Then we'll do our popcorn. Then we'll do our karate. Then we'll do our arrow up. And then we'll strike our pose. No worries if you don't even need to remember all of that because I'm gonna call it out to you. Okay, let's start. Let's start with our swaying. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's march 32 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. There we go. Let's do our twisty turbies. What comes next? Popcorn. Can you do some karate chopping? Can you do the popcorn again? Karate chopping. Go down for your arrow. Come on up and strike your pose. How about I go ahead and put Ecce Gratum on from Orff's Carmina Burana, and we can do this movement along with the music. I think you're gonna have a blast. Whew, I'm also working up a sweat. Gee, zooey, chop suey. Let me move my camera. Put it up here for you. Let me turn on the music. definitely think we got our steps in. I'm gonna go inside and get a good drink of water. I'm worn out. Have a great day. Thanks for doing our Carl Orff Ecce Gratum from Carmina Burana activity with me. I'll see you real soon. Bye. Make sure you share that one with your families.